Hello everybody, this is Brandon with BLT Inspections out of Plant City, Florida, and today I wanted to shoot a video on some common problems we find with these electrical panels. First of all, I just wanted to say I do not recommend you try and remove this panel at home. This should only be done by a trained professional for safety purposes. Not all inspectors will remove or are required to move this panel during their inspection. At BLT Inspections, we are trained to do this, and we will include this on every report. Now, here are some of the things that we find typically on our inspections. First one I wanted to look at is we have no Romex connector or bushing around these wires coming into the main electrical panel. They should have a Romex style connector or a bushing protecting the wires coming into the panel, like you see here. This has none. You can already see that there's some damage onto the wire, so we need to get that taken care of. Another thing you see here is some empty knockout holes that are not being used. We need to get those filled up, sealed off, so that sparks don't fly in and out of the panel, or anything else for that matter comes in and out of the panel. We want to keep that kind of sealed off as best we can. So another issue we find here, and this is pretty common, is we have a circuit breaker here that has been double tapped. You might have heard of this term before, and that's when we are taking two wires and attaching them to one single circuit breaker. This is pretty common out in the field, but these circuit breakers are intended to carry one wire. There is extra space here in the panel here for more circuit breakers, so we're going to recommend that one of these wires gets moved to its own circuit breaker. We also have another problem with this circuit breaker here, and another problem out in the field that we commonly find is this is a 20 amp circuit breaker, and I know it's hard to tell on video, but this is 14 gauge wire attached to a 20 amp circuit breaker. That breaker is oversized for that size wire. That should be a 15 amp circuit breaker for this size wire. 20 amp circuit breakers would typically hold a 12 gauge wire, and that's not what we have here. So again, these are some of the more common issues we find on the electrical panel. Thanks for watching. BLT Inspections, Plant City, Florida.